Hey, what is going on, guys? Talk Norwich City here, back for another video. I hope you guys are well today. I'm going to be doing a question and answer video. I went to you guys on Twitter and asked for some questions for this Q&A. You guys came back in force, so I'm about to answer them. The first question is from Alex Grieve, and he asks if you could sign any player in the Championship in the January transfer window for Norwich, who would it be? So, I reckon it's going to be Sam Byram at Leeds. He's a quality young right back. We desperately need a replacement right back. Russell Martin, yes, he's good, but he's sort of coming to the end of his career, and we could do with an upgrade. Stephen Whittaker isn't good enough, and Sam Byram to me looks like the best replacement. He's had a lot of interest from Premier League clubs. Would probably cost us in the region of 5 to 7 million, but I think he would be well worth the money. So I reckon Sam Byram. The next question is from Jack's Back, and he asks, would you like to see safe standing introduced into the UK, much like they have in the Bundesliga? And that is a massive yes. If you saw my video from the under-21 game when I was with the Barclay End project, I was openly supporting what they were doing, the safe standing. Vocal supporters at Norwich City are trying to get a safe standing section at Norwich. I think safe standing sections and terraces in general are fantastic. I've had some of my best footballing memories standing on terraces. I think it just enhances the whole atmosphere when you're standing, when you're vocal, and it boosts the players on as well. Of course, we don't want anything dangerous, I'm not saying that, but I think Carrow has the potential to have a safe standing area and a vocal section, and I definitely support it. The next question is from my good friend Josh Linehan. He asks, who is the best and worst player you've seen at Carrow Road? So the best player is a pretty easy one. It's got to be Luis Suarez. He absolutely tore us apart when we were in the Premier League. One of the best players I've ever seen. Gareth Bale's up there as well, and another one who's a bit surprising is Lewis Holtby. He made his debut at Norwich for Tottenham, and he was absolutely fantastic. But best player, definitely Luis Suarez. Worst player is definitely Herulio Gomez for Watford. He was absolutely dire in the Watford goal, and he is the worst player by far. The next question is also from a good friend, Away Days. He asks who have been the best away fans at Carrow Road this season. Last season, going on a tangent, it was Liverpool when they thought they were going to win the league. They were pretty decent. This season hasn't been like any incredible away fans come, but probably Leeds. I don't like Leeds at all, but their fan base is pretty remarkable, and they were pretty loud even though they only got a draw, so probably Leeds. The next question is from James, and he asks whether I've ever considered quitting YouTube. Not really. I mean, in the early stages I did. I took a massive 6-month break in the first couple of months when I started, solely for different reasons, but it wasn't really going too well. But since then, I've absolutely loved it. I've been appreciative of every single person who's clicked to watch my videos, and no, not really. YouTube is one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I never have thought about quitting it. I mean, last season under the Houghton era, it was very tough to create videos that were interesting, solely because the matches I was watching were so damn boring, but I never really thought about quitting. It was just my video content was getting a bit bland because of the utterly depressing football we were being put through to watch. But to answer your question, James, no, I've never really thought about quitting properly. The next question is from Wellesley, and he asks if I thought my YouTube career would ever go this well. I wouldn't consider myself successful in any way. I mean, I've got 2,000 subs, which isn't too bad, 360 odd thousand video views, but I wouldn't consider myself successful compared to the other football vloggers and in the community out there, the likes of Redmen TV, Arsenal Fan TV, Full Time Devils. They are absolutely smashing it at the moment. I'm just a little guy trying to put Norwich on the radar, but my original target for YouTube was 1,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd hit that. I hit that, and then the next 1,000 subscribers came fairly quickly. But yeah, it's been pretty incredible. Guys like you, Wells, you're helping me live out what is a pretty incredible little hobby. But no, I didn't ever think it would go this well. The next question is from Josh Lawless, and he asked, how well is the Carrow crowd going, and how well do you think the Fresh Press can progress over the future? Basically, if you don't know, the Carrow Crowd is a website that me and 3 other guys run. It was funded by a company called Fresh Press, which is a company funding young journalists to pursue their careers. The Carrow crowd itself is going very well. We've smashed targets. And we've made some pretty good working relationships with people. That's definitely going to help us in the future. In terms of Fresh Press, I think the sky's the limit. It's a fantastic brand. It's a fantastic company run by fantastic people, and it's helping a lot of people. And that's the main thing about Fresh Press. I think it's doing fantastic things, and it can do whatever it wants to. So I've got a question here from Jake Cave, and he asks what would be my advice for doing fan interviews. I'm still fairly new in the fan interview sort of zone, but my main sort of advice would be very open with people, be very confident when you're talking to them. Interviewing techniques are very hard to grasp at the start. I've done quite a lot of interviews now. Look them straight in the eye, ask them fairly simple questions, but questions that will get decent answers out of them, and just be nice, like polite. When you're asking for the interviews, be polite. It's just general common sense, really. But in terms of professional interviewing, look them in the eye, be very clear when you're speaking, and try and ask questions that will get decent answers out of them. So I've got a question in here from Christos Fellis, and he asks, how have I learned my sort of trade in editing my YouTube videos? I'm not a very good editor at all. I use Premiere Pro, if you didn't know. But over the past couple of years, I've learned a few different techniques. For me, it's been watching YouTube videos. I wouldn't have got anywhere with editing. I absolutely despise editing. I don't mind it too much now, but I used to. But YouTube tutorials were is what done it for me. I haven't ever done any courses or anything. Simply all self-taught. Just keep plugging away at the same program. I wouldn't recommend skipping about programs. I've settled in with Premiere Pro. I know there's Sony Vegas out there, Final Cut Pro and stuff like that, but for me, I'm a big fan of the Adobe products. Stick with one program and just practice with it, really. Practice makes perfect. So the last question comes in from Matt Harrison, and he asks, what is my favourite ground I've visited? And this is a very tough question. I've been to a lot of grounds over this past year. I've taken up sort of the hobby of ground hopping, going to different clubs and looking at their grounds. Peterborough, absolutely lovely ground, very old school. Cambridge also. Obviously Carrow Road, I'm there every other week. Love Carrow Road, but probably my favourite ground is Wembley. I went there to the final with Cambridge, and it's just such an iconic ground, so nicely built, and it's just a beautiful ground. So I reckon Wembley. So that's it for my Q&A. Thank you so much for submitting your questions on Twitter. If you don't know what my Twitter is, the link is in the description. You can follow me at TalkNorwichCity. Thanks you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.